workout focused primarily on shoulders. Now, I'm not somebody who typically does a body part split. In fact, I like to train muscle groups more often throughout the week using something like an upper-lower split. But what I do in this case is I will emphasize certain muscle groups during different points of the year when I want them to pop a little bit more. As an example, right now it's summertime, a lot more tank tops, so I want my shoulders to be popping. So what we're gonna do, take you step by step through this workout, and you can take this and run with it yourself. You ready? Let's go.
Before you go any further, it's 100% crucial that you watch the rest of this video and hit subscribe now.
Okay, so first and foremost, shoulders are a hypermobile joint. So we need to make sure that we are first mobilized and then we are activated, because everybody spends all day behind their computer with terrible posture, and then they go through in a workout and wonder why their shoulders hurt. So what we need to do is go through a step-by-step simple warm-up routine to optimize shoulder mechanics. The first exercise I like to focus on here is just a simple band dislocation. So all I'm gonna do, use a band instead of a dowel, over, back, over, back. And so I'll do a set of 15 to 20 reps right there. As soon as I'm done with that band dislocation, what I'm gonna do is a band pull apart. And the band pull apart works your scapular retractors, so the muscles in your upper back, to really make sure that you are strong and then you are stable. So what I'll do is I'll break this up into sets of 50. So I'll go 50 straight on, then I'll take a break, I'll go back through, do another set of band dislocations, and then I'll do 50 at an angle, 50 at an angle with those band dislocations in between. So altogether, it's gonna be 3 sets of band dislocations, 15 to 20, and then 3 sets of 50 at those band pull-aparts. Your shoulders, your upper back, your traps will be lit up well, but you're gonna be strong, stable, and then capable of having much better shoulder mechanics all the way through. So one important thing to note when doing a band dislocation, I'm not flexing through my elbows. Everything happens through retraction of my shoulder blades. I'll turn around and give you a quick example. So all the movement takes place directly through your shoulder blades to activate everything that we need to optimize upper body stability and mobility for this workout. We're gonna kick it off with one superset. So 2 different exercises done back to back. The first exercise is 75-degree incline dumbbell bench press. And the reason we're going 75 degrees instead of 90, most people cannot safely get overhead with that vertical shoulder press. What happens, the dumbbells end up out in front of the body, and when you're not in a joint stacked position vertically, well, guess what? You're putting a lot more stress directly on the rotator cuff, tendons, and ligaments of the shoulder instead of optimally loading the muscles like we want to. So if we go to a 75-degree angle, yeah, you get a little bit more upper chest in there directly, but you're also still gonna be smashing that anterior head of the shoulder as well. So we'll go 75 degrees with an incline dumbbell press. In addition, we're gonna do a chest-supported row. And the chest-supported row, the reason we like to do that, we're gonna flare elbows out to the sides. And when we do a chest-supported row with the elbows out in a pronated grip, we're actually gonna be able to hit the rear delts and the traps a lot harder, versus when you do a chest-supported row and you tuck your elbows, that's gonna be a little bit more lat focused. So the first 2 exercises, overhead dumbbell press with a 75-degree incline and a chest-supported row, but we're gonna flare the elbows out, set in rep schemes, 10, 8, 6, then we're gonna drop down and do 15. So here's what the weight progression is gonna look like. On the overhead press, we went 60 for 10, and we're gonna go 70, 80 for the sets of 8 and 6, and then do another back off set. And I'm gonna try to get 15 reps at 60 pounds. On the chest supported row, we start at 40, we're gonna go 40, 50, 60, and then back down to 40 while maintaining optimal form on that final set of 15. So we ramp up, and then we're able to pull back down, and we wanna get 15 reps with that initial set that we got 10 reps with. All right, time for the 80s. I didn't even know if that was 15. Had to be close. I swear I'll lose track after we get over 10. You know, counting problems. And so between sets, we're gonna rest about 60 seconds. During that rest period, adjust the bench down to about 45 degrees for that chest supported row. On each one of these, want to think about using a tempo of 3, 1, 1, 0. So basically 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, 1 second up, no big rest between the transition and exercises.
If you want to lose fat and build muscle, the number one thing you need to do, join our Look Great Naked protocol. Head to the link below, book your transformation call, and hit subscribe.
Next up, we are going to hit the Arnold Press with an isodynamic lateral raise. This is a nasty little combination, and here's why. First, on the Arnold Press, what we're going to do, because the Arnold Press, you start with your palms facing you and then press upward. What's going to happen is you actually put a lot more stress on the medial aspect of that deltoid, which helps you get that rounded cap look. So you're not going to be able to go as heavy as you typically would when you are doing a regular overhead press, but there's a longer time under tension, and we can hit that medial head, which is going to help create that overall 360 look and that bolder shoulder. So when you do a heavy exercise like that, what you do is you're actually going to recruit more muscle fibers, and when we can recruit more muscle fibers, we can basically fatigue more of those muscle fibers more effectively when we add this second exercise in the superset. And that exercise is the isodynamic lateral raise. And as you're going to see, the isodynamic has two different parts. First is the isometric. The isometric means we do a lateral raise, we come right up to the side, and we hold position. When we hold that position, we're creating an isometric contraction. And when you create an isometric contraction directly in a muscle, you can really increase both that time under tension, but then your mind-muscle connection. So this entire idea of an isodynamic type exercise works incredibly well if you have a stubborn muscle group. So what you're going to do, you're going to go out, you're going to hold that isometric, and you're going to hold place for 10 to 20 seconds. After that comes the dynamic portion of the exercise. And here, you're going to perform 10 to 12 reps. So, isodynamic lateral raise, isometric hold, and then you do the reps themselves. And this superset is gnarly because you get the heavier weight, you hit that medial head, and then you hit it again with an isometric or isodynamic contrast, and that's going to be an excellent way for you to be able to get an incredible pump and build bigger shoulders. Damn, it's getting hot in here. See, it's South Carolina, 85 degrees outside, probably about 85 in here right now. Anyway, as I mentioned before, I don't like to do a strict body part split. I want to be able to hit muscle groups multiple times per week. So in this case, we're going to hit it chin up next. I'm going to do 2 focused work sets of 6 to 8. But what I'm going to do first, just a body weight set here of 10 reps. And then I'm going to add some weight and then work in that 6 to 8 rep range with the angles 90. Those angles 90, what they do, they allow a free range of motion, like rings, like a TRX, like any suspension trainer. And what that does, that can eliminate a ton of wrist, elbow, and shoulder pain and dysfunction, especially if you do a lot of chin-ups and if you do them heavy. All right, so here's how these look. Okay, so the first set on the chin-up went well, 44 pounds, 8 reps easy. Now we're gonna bump it up, go 60 pounds, another 6 to 8. I like to use this 6 to 8 rep range, and this is what I mean. We're gonna set the rep range at 6 to 8. If I can't do 6, the weight is too heavy, I stay there next week. If I can get all 8 reps, next week I wanna try to bump it up a little bit more, right? So if you can get 8, cool, bump it up. If you can't get 6, then we wanna stay where we are. And the reason is this gives a little bit more variability that you're gonna have day to day, which gives you the ability to learn how to auto-regulate your own training so you know when to push, when to pull back. When you do this over time, that's how you can gradually create progressive overload and get better results. Now, when you're doing your chin up, pull up, whatever variation, I always like to think pull to your sternum. Don't necessarily pull to try to get your head over the top. If you over pull, we run into what we call anterior humeral glide. So basically the big bone in your shoulder crams forward into that shoulder socket, can lead to impingement and some other issues. So pull up directly, 90 degrees, a little bit past is fine, like you're trying to pull your sternum up to the bar. That's ideally where you want to go. Now, if you want to emphasize your lats a little bit more, one specific cue, think about driving your elbows down as the initiator on your pull-up. So elbows down, sternum to the bar, you're going to feel your lats a lot more than you would if you're just running through the motions on a chin-up. This nasty little superset that we're going to use to finish it off is going to hit all three heads of the shoulder, the anterior, medial, and the rear delt. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a scapular plane lateral raise. So the scapular plane is a little bit different than a straight lateral raise when you come out to the side. In the scapular plane, you're going to come out very slightly at about 30 degrees in front of your body. Not only is this a little bit safer on the shoulder, but it creates a better length-tension relationship and more tension to really build that capped delt that you see right over here. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start with a lateral raise. First, 10 to 12 reps. After that, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to use a bench, rest my head on a bench, and do a rear delt raise. And the reason we want to do this, here are a couple important cues. First, when you're hitting your rear delts and you're doing that reverse fly type motion, you want to protract your shoulders. So roll them forward versus squeeze them back. When you roll them forward, we can actually focus more on that rear delt versus when we do a reverse fly and we squeeze our shoulders together, we actually put more of the load directly on our traps. So when you go through and do that reverse fly, I want you to think about rounding your shoulders forward and pushing your hands out as far as you can to keep constant tension on that rear delt to really build that full 360 look with the delt. Then the final exercise, the one you're going to be strongest in, well, when you're fresh, is going to be a front raise, which works that anterior head directly of the shoulder. And the reason we want to start with that lateral raise, we tend to be weakest with the lateral raise, so we want to do it first. Second, we're going to be second weakest with the rear delt raise. We're going to hit it second. And then third, we're strongest with that anterior head because of all the pushing that we typically do, and that can go last. So we're going to hit one exercise after another, no rest in between them, and then rest at the very end. Ready? Let's do it. Gang, that's all we've got. We've got the shoulder pump going on, and that's what we needed for today. Now, if you got incredible value directly out of this workout, you want to learn a little bit more, drop me a comment below and let me know, how did this go? What questions can I answer directly for you, and how can you apply this to your workout? And ultimately, listen, following my work is going to help you. However, if you want to be able to get the best results possible, you need something that's going to be crafted specifically for you. It's going to meet you where you are and fits into your schedule and your ability to recover. So if you want to work directly, all you need to do, head to that caption below, click on bachperformance.com/call. You and I will break down what would be the ideal situation for you, how to get the best results possible so you can look great naked without living in the gym. All right, gang, that's it. I'll catch you on the next one.
Did you find this helpful? If so, pound that like button and hit subscribe. Now, if you want a free copy of our Chiseled Muscle Cheat Sheet, the no BS way to help you lose body fat and build lean muscle in 90 days, make sure that you go to the description below and download your free copy. Any questions? Drop them in the comments, and can't wait to see you with the next video.